As part of our effort in developing the nation's first national broadband plan, we recognized early on that there were other countries out there that had invested in certain cases into multiple plans. We felt it was important to go out there, meet with regulators, service providers, and technology vendors within those economies and understand and see their experiences and capture best practices. We made multiple trips to various countries in Asia and Europe, and during the course of this clip, you'll see excerpts from our European trip.
Yes, okay, thank you. I think it's quite interesting to see that the problems around the world are very similar, and that the uptake and the broadband penetration is very similar in the US and in Germany. And we have made good experience with a very continuous regulatory strategy based on promoting competition, but trying at the same time, of course, to balance this with incentives for investment. So we basically come from a supply side strategy, I would say, because we think that consumers will take this up if it is offered.
Hi, we're here in Paris, France, as part of the Broadband team's trip to Europe. We're going to meet with some telecommunication companies as well as some government representatives.
As you know, when copper began to be used to deliver broadband services, the main concern for the regulator was to grant access to the buried copper pair to all the operators that wanted to deliver services. When you roll out fiber networks, you build from scratch. It means simply that you have to organize the way that a certain portion of this network will be shared. And in France, we have been studying this and making pilot experiments as well, and we identified that the in-house wiring, fiber wiring, was not replicable, and that the regulator should set a set of rules in order to have this last portion or drop cable shared by operators that would like to deliver very high-speed broadband services.
This is the view from the conference room at ARCEP, the French telecom regulator.
Services, and we also will be allocating roughly at the same time the digital dividend, which is the spectrum that has been freed, or that will be freed at the end of 2011 by the switch over of the switch off, in fact, of analog TV, and that is 72 megahertz that are being freed in a harmonized way in Europe. So probably will be one of the first countries to make that available. This is
Well, we are one of the leading broadband nations, and I believe part of that is that already 10 years ago we set out on a market-driven course. We were, as the old incumbent, fully privatized. The market was liberalized, and there was pretty quickly enforced regulation with open access to our network. We have an independent wholesale division, and this market-driven development with open access to our network has led us to fierce competition and network investments in Denmark, so I believe that's one of the things you can learn from Denmark.
Yeah, first of all, I'll commend you for coming to Denmark to look at what we've been doing over here to actually create a well-functioning telecom market. I think the advice going forward for you guys is to have a regulation that's technology neutral and actually market driven, and I think one of the key issues is always to ensure a level playing field for all the operators in the market. But best of luck.
Thank you.
Well, it seems to us that it's not just a question of the data speeds, and particularly in the future. So it's up to the people to decide what kind of services they would like to use, and sometimes it's more important for them to have the opportunity to use the services wherever they want to move, instead of using them only in the office or in the home environment. And what is important to understand here, that the technology will provide the opportunity, that we will have the ability of delivering enough capabilities in the different networks. It's up to the service provision, so that we have sufficiently attractive services, but that can truly create value for the consumers. then we are truly in the environment of broadband. Not just looking at the technology, not just looking at the throughput of the network.